Hello and welcome to the Richmond Art Gallery. I'm delighted to introduce myself. I'm Dr. Hilary Letwin, the exhibition curator. This exhibition is entitled Beyond the Horizon, and it features work from our collection here at the Richmond Art Gallery, and also 10 new works that have been made by secondary school students from the Richmond area who have each participated in an 8-month-long artist mentorship program here at the Richmond Art Gallery, doing work for the exhibition and learning about the Richmond Art Gallery. The collection works that are being exhibited in this exhibition have been built up over the course of the last 40 years. They've come into the collection through the generous donation of artists who have often exhibited in the Richmond Art Gallery, or donors who have supported us over the course of the last 40 years. And it's grown very organically. We have a great number of landscapes in the collection. As I got to know the collection in my position as curatorial assistant here, I was intrigued by the variety of art that we have in our holdings. I'm especially pleased to be able to represent, to bring in a number of works that really come from the beginning of the 20th century all the way up to the late 20th century. And I was hoping to be able to show how landscape art has changed in Canada over the course of the last century. I've organized the exhibition into 4 different categories. Looking at the geography and the topography of Canada, I identified works that included images of water, images of forests, and works that talked about the prairie and described the prairie, and finally images that were showing mountains. That seemed to be an excellent way to bring the works together thematically. And then, of course, interspersed with the collection works are the works by the students who also worked according to those 4 categories.
So my name is Maurice, and I'm graduating from Eric Hamber Secondary School this year. And growing up in Vancouver, I think I'm very fortunate to live in such a beautiful city. And a lot of people around me talk about how, like, oh, Vancouver is like the most beautiful place, you should definitely visit it. But to me, I think it's the places like just outside of Vancouver, the places you have to drive out to, such as like Squamish, Whistler, those places, and that's where you find like the most beautiful lakes and the most gorgeous mountains. And with this project, I really wanted to do something that I don't usually do, because I usually paint. And I think in most galleries that I see, it's just like paintings and things on the wall. And I didn't actually know that I could do something like this. And I'm really glad that I got the creative freedom to do so. I brought my GoPro camera and I just went on a few hikes just to capture everything. I just really want to stress with my project that a lot of us can get consumed by our own lives, that we don't really realize how insignificant we are compared to everything around us. So I wanted to depict how small we were compared to how grand the mountains are, the trees, the beautiful blue lakes that are just around the corner. And yeah, just remember to take time out of your lives to see the beauty in life outside.
My name is Ayel Heinrichs, and I have lived in Vancouver nearly my entire life. Despite growing up in an urban setting, I've spent a lot of time surrounded by nature, hiking, biking, camping with family and friends. As an introverted nature lover in a hurried, noisy, and technological world, I often crave the simple solitude and beauty that creation offers. And I wanted to explore this in my work, looking at the forest both as a whole and in different elements through pattern. By using repetition and balance, it kind of juxtaposes the beauty and pattern in the forest, as well as the wild, untamed aspect. And by eliminating some color in some of the pieces, I wanted to emphasize the detail and delicacy of those particular drawings. And the title, Whispers, is an allusion to a song by Passenger, and it embodies the need for quiet reflection in our noisy society.
Hi, my name is Athena, and I'm a student at Jane Burnett in Richmond. My art piece is called Rejuvenation, and is the result of my realization that imagination and creativity has sort of disappeared from my life. And so I've thought about when I was younger, I would dream about dragons and other creatures coming to real life. So I decided I would create a piece where it would remind viewers that we are allowed to fantasize about our dreams. And despite what we're being told when we grow up, we can still dream and reimagine the earth around us into something new. I chose the landscape of a waterfall because water is what sustains life, and it can revive anything, much like how I found out that I needed the imagination back from my childhood. Water also reminds me of new beginnings and constant change, like how water can move around obstacles, and it can be wherever it wants. It can flow wherever it wants. I've also intended for the water to feel otherworldly and ethereal, but still calming and like water in reality. And that water is flowing from the painting into real life, like how fantasy usually takes aspects of imaginary concepts and puts it into real world situations. And hence the drips flowing down from the canvas down onto the floor into a puddle.
My name is Megan Lane, and I am a student at McRoberts Secondary School. My title is When I Think of Home, and my connection to Canadian landscape is perhaps a little different than most people. I don't think of environmental issues or my favorite site. I more so think of how the environment carries so many visual metaphors, and that's what I wanted to show in my artwork. The house representing my faith, and me being represented as the tree, finding my roots in my faith. And so I kind of wanted to show through this piece how I intend to live, kind of precariously, but finding safety in those roots, and also contributing beauty to the world.
So, hi, my name is Lucy. I am from Richmond Secondary School. I came to Canada when I was 11, and for a short period of time, I been through some racism. I chose to do it in this arrangement because I saw an article talking about how all human beings are one species and that they all came from Africa. I hope that by seeing this piece, I hope you to understand that everyone is equal. So for this piece, I named it Pangea because it is the shape of the earth when it was first formed. And for my piece, I chose to use clay because clay represents earth, and in a way, it also represents us.
Hi, I am Nikki. I'm 17, and I want to be an artist and change the world. So my art is really a portrayal of how beautiful I see the landscape of Canada as. We have these mountains that are just so vast and great. You could reach the sky, and we have oceans that are almost infinite. When I look around me now and I see the impact that we have made on our world, I'm not necessarily impressed with us. I look around and I see it seems more like we're trying to contribute things that are for ourselves and not for others. I think that in growing as a culture, as a society, we need to be more mindful of our impact on the world around us and the people around us, because growing bigger isn't necessarily going to mean that it's better. Sometimes things are more beautiful left as how they are.
Hi, I'm Angel. I go to Richmond High. I'm in grade 9. In the summer, I went to pick trash for a volunteer job, and from far away, the beach was really beautiful, but close up, I realized there's a lot of garbage on the floor, and I realized that we should be helping our environment and saving it instead of destroying it. I used bubble wrap for the outside of the fish to represent the scales and to show the inside of the fish, the garbage. One of the main challenges I had to make the fish was trying to solve all the little problems I had, such as how heavy the fish will be so the string would be straight, and what kind of garbage I can use that's heavy enough. All the materials I use are recycled. It's either from my home or from the art gallery. I wish people would be aware of the issue so the beauty of the ocean wouldn't be destroyed.
Hi, my name's Athena and I chose to do a painting because painting's always been very important to me. And I chose to do the type of landscape I did because when I was younger I grew up in a forest basically, and the trees and the mountains are always very important to me, and I thought that the trees are very interesting because they've lived through more than we ever will, and the mountains, the rock changes, but trees grow and die off and nurse other ones, and I thought that was really important to include a lot of trees in my painting. And I chose to put a frog in the bottom of mine because a good friend of mine, he had a pond in his yard and there was a lot of frogs, and I used to go catch frogs with my dog in the pond, and he moved away, so I miss the frogs. I also chose to incorporate Aboriginal design because Aboriginal design has always been important to me because I am Aboriginal, and I won the YVR Art Foundation Scholarship, so I think that I should really start pushing more Aboriginal art into my designs because it's a good thing to incorporate. I mean, we live on unceded territory, and as an Aboriginal student, I believe it's very important that we include more Aboriginal elements into our everyday life.
Hi, my name is Lily Wayne. I am an artist that's participating in this youth mentorship program. So about my art, I think I got inspired from the bodies of water in Richmond. And I have a personal connection to it because it reminds me of the rivers and lakes surrounding my hometown in China. And so in my work, I decided to center around water. So I picked water as my theme. So I decided to name my piece H-bonding. As some of you might know, H-bonding is a term in chemistry referring to the bond in water molecules. So I think it really fits my theme because I really want to, I wanted to explicitly explain the connection between me and everyone I know from Richmond, my immigration experience as well. So I felt like sometimes we are really similar to the water, which are joined by an invisible yet very strong bounding. So I decided to use a very geometric shape when I did my lantern. And I really want to show this bond forming between each of the individual wooden dowels that I use in my work. And afterwards, I covered them in different colors and different colors of paper tissue. So I hope to really convey this feeling of dynamic and even just this variety, embracing the multicultural aspect of Canada.
My name is Mandy Xu. I am an art student in Richmond Secondary School, and I've always felt comfortable in the forest, and I enjoy hikes in the forest with my family and friends. And I've always felt at home in the forest, even though I felt dwarfed by the sheer size of the trees. but I feel like there is almost a mysterious setting to it that makes me feel really intrigued to that setting. And in this piece, I went out of my comfort zone. I worked with a large-scale painting, and it's a medley between a painting and a projection, which is created digitally, like an animation. And I feel like just venturing out of my comfort zone is a whole new experience, as I've always felt comfortable working small scale, like in my sketchbook or just on a loose piece of scrap paper. And in this piece, I kind of created an interaction between a painting and a projection, and a visual dialogue is created between the two elements.
One of the highlights of the program, I think, for the students and for myself over the course of this exhibition preparation has been teaching the students about how an exhibition comes together and asking them to spend time with the collection works, getting to know the works, getting to know the artists, teaching them to be good neighbors in a group exhibition. These have been very, very exciting moments to see the students really understand the process behind putting an exhibition together. And we're very grateful to the BC Arts Council for giving us this opportunity to introduce them to the collection, introduce them to the gallery, and hopefully help them on their way in their future careers as professional artists.